What's going on, everybody? I'm here to talk about my experience thus far with the carnivore diet. And the reason I say thus far is yesterday was my 30th day doing the carnivore diet. And for those of you unfamiliar with how or why I started, it went a little something like this. It's pretty prevalent in today's nutrition, health, and fitness world, this carnivore diet. January is World Carnivore Month, and I'm a big fan of the Joe Rogan podcast. He did it during January as well as a couple of his friends. He had some guests on there to talk about it. And then more recently, over 100 days, Mark Smelly Bell, who was on the Best Hour of Their Day podcast a few months ago, did it as well. And he was really the catalyst and the motivation for me because he's had such a positive attitude about it. He gave so much information away for free. Definitely check out his YouTube channel. And just the results he was seeing were phenomenal that I was like, okay, I got to try this. Like most people, though, I hemmed and hawed about it. I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it. I had some Ice Age meals in the freezer, and I was like, well, when I'm done with those, because those meals have sweet potatoes or rice, or I had a jar of peanut butter in the pantry. Every excuse in the book I had to not do it, even though I really wanted to test it. So one day, 30 days ago, I was eating breakfast with my wife, Roz, and I was eating bacon and eggs. I was basically having a carnivore breakfast, and I was talking about it. Hey, I'm really interested. And she's like, stop making excuses and just start. And I was like, damn it, Roz, why you gotta call me out on my bullshit, which is something I do all the time. And, you know, and I should say she does all the time because I make these excuses and then she's the one that's like, no, just get going. Just start. It's like, you're right. Happy wife, happy life. And that was 30 days ago. Sorry, whenever I record a video, it's the only time my dogs go crazy and start playing. So I hope you can hear me all right. But over 30 days, I learned really 5 major lessons. More than that, but 5 that I think are really important. And if you're watching this, that you might be interested in, and maybe would even convince you to try the carnivore diet yourself. Of course, with that being said, typical warning, hey, consult with your doctor if you decide to do that. Don't blame me for ill effects. I'm having nothing but positive effects. But, you know, check yourself. I'm not a doctor, etc. Blah, blah, blah. There you go. But what I will tell you is I started, when she called me out on that day, I was like, I'm going to go 7 days. And then anyone and everyone that did it, that knew me, was like, you got to go more. And the truth is, you'll hear by this list of top 5, it wasn't a hard decision. And I'm continuing beyond those 30 days. I mean, today's day 31. I'm still full bore going at it. And right now, my short-term goal is to go 90 days to really see how I feel. Because it did take about 20 to 25 days to really start to see the effects on some of the things I'm going to talk about. But really the biggest one, my body, really started to change. I think it took some time for my body to get adapted to using fat for energy versus glycogen and carbohydrates. And that's why I want to continue, because I really want to see where this goes. So top 5, I'm going to give you no particular order, just things I wrote down. But number 5 was, I'm a very black and white person, right? So I've been tracking macros for nearly 5 years now. I'm coming up on my 2,000 day streak in MyFitnessPal. And the beauty of macros is you can really eat anything that you want. It's a matter of, you know, quote unquote, if it fits your macros. The quality you decide to chase after with macros is entirely up to you. And I ran the gamut on that. You can see some of my old YouTube videos talking about how I lost 30 pounds eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but then also how I really decided to take a different approach to it and eat good quality food. The beauty of the carnivore diet is it's black and white. There's no like, should I eat that or should I not? Is it meat? Eat it. Is it not meat? Don't eat it. Rob Wolf used to say, you know, if it had eyes and a soul and a mom, go ahead and eat it. So I like the fact that it's black and white. It's prevented me from days where I miss my macros or I go over, but I have this kind of excuse in my head of, well, at least it's good quality food, or at least it's paleo. Like, what's paleo? Is it peanut butter tonight? Is it dark chocolate? Is it shots of tequila? With carnivore, there's none of that gray. Is it meat? Is it an animal product? Eat it. Is it not meat? Or is it not an animal product? Don't eat it. So number 5 would be the fact that it's black and white. Now, number 4, and this is a big one, and I kind of go back and forth between these health reasons and then these kind of mental reasons, but 100% on this, less inflammation. I've had a lot of struggle. I always feel like such a baby when I talk about it, but I have stage 4 arthritis in my big toe on my right foot. Now, when I was diagnosed with stage 4 arthritis, my first question to the doctor was, is that the good kind? And she was very quickly like, no, you need surgery. And this is years ago, and I've kind of just been sucking it up, but the times it hurts the most is when I'm at jiu-jitsu and somebody just accidentally bumps my toe or it sticks to the mat, or when I'm doing things like lunges at the CrossFit box, because I have no flexion in my big toe. It's literally bone on bone. If you really care and you want to look it up, it's called hallux rigidus, but it's painful. And I've done a few things over the last year to improve that. More recently in June, I did a 5-day fast. Significant results. If you've never done a 5-day fast, I'll probably do a post about that in the future, but check out Prolon. I've got a code if you want it that'll save you $50, but hit me up if you want that. But big improvement. Now, I had to fast for 5 days to achieve that. And I'll tell you, over the last 30 days of doing the carnivore diet, it's improved significantly to the point I rarely feel it. The only time it's really bothered me in the last month is when we did lunges the other day at the box. And that's on me. I should be avoiding it. My ego gets in the way. I see that RX and I want to do it. So I do lunges despite the pain. But I'm also kind of just resigned myself to the fact that it's like, it's not getting worse. I'm either going to get surgery or I'm not. But I'll tell you, in the past when I've done things like lunges, double unders, even running, it's hurt for days. And it didn't hurt. And nothing else really hurts. I've got a lot of soreness from training. I've been banged up on the mountain bike recently. But inflammation, I feel great. I'm 42, and over the last year or two, I've noticed when I get up out of bed in the morning, it's like I need like 10 minutes to like get my wits about me and start moving. I don't feel that anymore. And I've got nothing to gain if you guys decide to do this. I'm just giving you my feedback. I don't make money if you have less inflammation, so I have no reason to convince you otherwise. But I'm telling you, for this 42-year-old guy, my body feels better. In addition, if we go back to kind of that mental component, number 3 would be there's a whole lot less stress on me mentally when it comes to tracking. You can check me out on MyFitnessPal. My username is JasonAckerman78, and I've still tracked everything over the last 30 days, but honestly, I've not tracked it in a way that I'm really worried about macros. Obviously, I look at my carbs. I want to hit as close to 0 carbs, meaning take in 0 carbs as possible. And I can't think of many days throughout the last 30 that I've had more than 4 or 5 carbs. Maybe a sausage, had some wrapping around it, or I don't even know. Maybe one of the bags of pork rinds I had a little bit of flavoring, so there was some carbs. But I track mostly, I look at the calories, and I try to get about 2,500 to 3,000 calories per day in protein and fat, which is the amount of calories I was getting when I was tracking my macros. But man, there are days where I go under, and I'm just like, no big deal. I don't have to chase those macros at the end of the days. And there's days where I'm hungry, and I'm eating more than 3,000 calories. And I don't feel as stressed out about macros. I'm still a big proponent of macros. And I don't think you should be doing the carnivore diet as an excuse to just eat however much food you want. I think you should still be tracking and have an idea of your caloric consumption on a daily basis. But I'll tell you, it's a lot less stressful. So check out my MyFitnessPal. Find me, JasonAckerman78. Give me a like or a follow or whatever, and I'll accept your request, whatever goes on in MyFitnessPal, so you can take a look at what I eat regularly and give you some ideas. Because it took me a little bit. One of the big lessons I learned with carnivore, not part of the top 5, but just a lesson I learned is you have to be prepared. It's not like tracking macros or eating healthy where you can grab a bag of broccoli and throw it in the microwave if you want to eat good quality, or steam some rice or microwave it. You have to have meat prepared pretty consistently. I have some other things like deli meat, salami, even hot dogs that in a jiff I can have them ready. But for dinner, I have to have steak defrosted. Ross has been absolutely phenomenal. Shout out to the wife of the year for making me chicken wings on a regular basis. But that only happens if you have the meat defrosted. So my top 5 is going on, but one lesson in there, if you decide to do it after listening to this, is be prepared. And that goes for really any diet. It's like meal planning, plan to fail or fail to plan, etc., however that expression goes. But with carnivore, I found even more so you need to go into it a bit prepared. Now, my number 2, if I'm counting down from number 5, was I didn't really miss anything. That was maybe the most surprising. I'm a big snacker at the end of the day. My routine is as the day starts to unwind, we have dinner maybe around 7:30, and about 8:30, we're usually chilling out on the couch, and whether right now we're watching like every birthing video possible because Roz is pregnant, but whether it's The Office or a new movie on Netflix, that's kind of like my decompress mental, physical, emotional time. Like phones away, computers away, and I would snack. And whether it was a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, some popcorn if we're watching a movie, or peanut butter was a big go-to recently. I don't miss any of that, and I'm really surprised. I wouldn't say that I have a sweet tooth, like I need to always be having something sweet, but I would have expected that. I was like, man, I miss this, and I really don't. So it's interesting to see that your taste buds can change over time, and you these things that you feel like you need, these things that you feel like you must have, aren't really. It's not really true. It's kind of just this story that you tell yourself, like. For the last 5 years, I think I had something sweet or a treat at the end of every day. And it's been 30 days, and I don't miss it at all. That's not to say I'm never going to want a cookie or a brownie or a bowl of ice cream ever again. And I'm not sure when I'll do that. But as it stands right now, I'm totally cool with that. The last thing I want to tell you, my number one reason that I'm really enjoying the carnivore diet is sustained energy. Man, from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, I never have that dip in my day. And I was having that a lot prior. We typically all go to the coffee machine or the Starbucks run at like 1 or 2 in the afternoon to have that little pick-me-up. And I still have a cup of coffee in the morning, but some afternoons I forget, or I might have it just because I enjoy the ritual of it, but I never feel like I'm getting tired. I don't take any pre-workout. I never take that stuff, and it's great because going to the box, there's some days where I'm like, maybe in the past I would have been dragging and had to take something that's just artificial and probably not that great for you, and now I don't feel the need to do that. It's like this strange clarity, like limitless, right? Like you remember Bradley Cooper when he's cleaning the house after he takes that pill? I kind of feel like that. And again, I have no reason to lie to you about it. Like I just feel great. My eyes feel more clear. My brain feels more clear. It reminds me a lot of when I was fasting. And those first couple days of fasting, I was dragging, I was tired, I was lethargic because I was having no caffeine and having very little food. And now I get that feeling every day, even though I'm eating and feeling satisfied. And I think it's just because, I'm not having processed food. It's not just about eliminating carbohydrates, but it's really about eliminating processed foods. And my body is just running off of that fat, and it feels really great. If I were going to add maybe one other thing to this list, it would be the fact that it's teaching my body what it likes and what it doesn't like. And what I mean by that is, obviously I'm only having meat and animal products, but I'm also really eliminating cheese. A lot of people do cheese or dairy on this, and I don't care what you do, and I don't know if it's right or wrong. I'm not pro or against dairy, but I've had cheese twice in the last 30 days. One day, Roz made me a chicken pizza, which was like ground up chicken, layered with cheese and then pepperoni on top. So the chicken kind of served as the crust, and then the cheese, was delicious, and I loved it. But my stomach, I had crazy diarrhea. My stomach was messed up for days, and that was 14 days in. So I had cheese for the first time 14 days in. 7 days after that, I was like, maybe it was the cheese, maybe it wasn't. I wasn't sure, but I had cheese one other time, and I just had maybe about 3 ounces of cheddar cheese, just a block of it, and I had like crazy acid reflux. I've never had acid reflux in my entire life, and it felt like I was choking for like 2 or 3 days, like something was stuck here. And again, I had wicked diarrhea, and that's Rocky over there. He wants to play. But I will tell you, until then, I didn't think cheese really messed me up too bad. And now hold on a second. Hey, stop fucking around. That's what you gotta do. You gotta yell at the dog. Gotta tell him to stop fucking around. See, he listened. But until then, Roz would always tell me like cheese isn't great. Like my sleep is often off after a night of pizza, or my stomach's a little bit messed up for a couple days. But this was a huge eye opener to me in the fact that cheese does not sit well with my body. So I'd encourage you to try it. This is really at the root of it a super elimination diet. All you're eating is meat. So you're getting rid of so many of the things that cause inflammation, that cause autoimmune problems by just eating meat. And then if you want to, after 30 days or 60 or 90 or however long you do this, add them back slowly, but you're gonna find what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And that was a big eye opener for me. So again, that's what I got for you on my top 5 reasons I've enjoyed the carnivore diet over the last 30 days. If you have questions, please hit me up below. I'm gonna bring to you more videos on the carnivore diet, specifically things I do in a day to eat all day, things that we go out shopping. Roz has been tremendous in doing Costco runs, and I'll give you some of the great tips that I have, because you can save a lot of money. That's one of the biggest arguments I think there is to the carnivore diet, is that it's more expensive. It's not. It's not more expensive if you do it right. Yeah, you can get super organic grass-fed meat and spend hundreds of dollars every day. But I would say my average day of eating is probably less than $20. And I'll take you through a day of that if you're interested. But hit me up below. Let me know what you'd like to hear about the carnivore diet. And if this resonated with you and you're interested in getting started, let me know. I'm happy to help. That's what I'm here for. That's what this YouTube channel is really designed for. I want to give back to you guys. I appreciate you guys following the channel or subscribing, liking the videos, share them. Do whatever you can. It goes a long way for me and allows me to continue to do this. So I hope that helped. And like I said, I'm a big fan. I hope you give it a try.